CSI Miami captivated millions of viewers with every case. But behind the scenes, some actors suffered even more tragic fates than those in front of the camera. Sudden deaths, devastating addictions, failed marriages, and ruined careers. There are people who rose to fame and achieved unimaginable success. There are people who failed, and there are people who triumphed. Let's explore this shocking truth together. Evan Ellingson, tight end, Kyle Harmon. At just 19 years old, Evan Ellingson played Kyle Harmon, the son of Detective Horatio Kane, in the 2007 film CSI Miami. This role brought him widespread recognition and, after years of effort, opened the door to Hollywood. His charismatic screen presence established him as a promising talent. But behind this fleeting success lies a grim reality that few can imagine. Evan Taylor Ellingson was born on July 1st, 1988. In California, USA, the son of 4 brothers. His life took a tragic turn in 2008 when his brother Austin died of a drug overdose. This shock gradually drew Evan into the drug scene from the age of 19 at the height of his career. The pain of loss and his susceptibility to temptation led him into a vicious cycle of addiction from which there was no escape. In the following years, Evan lived torn between the desire to return to the screen and the darkness of drug use. He repeatedly checked himself into rehab clinics, but every glimmer of hope was extinguished by relapses that plunged him deeper and deeper into despair. After 2011, his film career stalled, and the once celebrated young man faded into obscurity. His attempts to survive gradually resulted in a series of bitter failures, leaving Evan a lonely shadow in the glittering spotlight of Hollywood. On November 5th, 2023, Evan Ellingson died at the age of 35 in Fontana, California, from a fentanyl overdose. His sudden death plunged family, friends, and fans into deep mourning. His estate was worth only about $1 million, a vanishingly small sum compared to the expectations once placed in him. His latest painting does not depict a shining star, but a man who succumbed to his addiction, leaving behind a grief that makes people shudder at the terrible price of fame that came far too soon. Nicole DeHoof as Carrie Delgado. Nicole DeHoof plays Carrie Delgado, a dedicated blood technician at the CSI lab in Miami in 2003 when she was 28 years old. Although it was only a small role, it was considered an important step in her artistic career after her success in the hit film Meet the Parents, 2000. Nicole's career took off, but this fame was short-lived. Nicole Renee DeHoof was born on January 6, 1975, in Antlers, Oklahoma, USA. In 2005, at only 30 years old, Nicole developed severe breathing problems. She went to a hospital but, instead of being treated, was twice misdiagnosed with bronchitis. Her breathing problems worsened, and Nicole was sent home without fever reducers or antibiotics. The pneumonia that severely affected her lungs went unnoticed because no one heard her cries for help. Nicole spent her last days in a state of medical injustice. She returned to the hospital several times, but was sent home each time due to the indifference and negligence of the doctors. Her body weakened, her breathing became labored, and any hope of rescue vanished right where it should have been. When Nicole collapsed in her home, she was taken away in critical condition by ambulance. Before the illness could be diagnosed, she was gone forever. On February 16, 2005, Nicole DeHoof passed away at the age of 30. She left behind her husband, Ari Palitz, and a family deeply shaken by her tragic loss. Her fortune was estimated at $500, a vanishingly small sum compared to her great, unfulfilled dreams. Her death shocked the public and left behind deep sorrow, as it made them realize how fragile fate is. Michael Madsen as Coop Daly. The 46-year-old Michael Soren Madsen played Coop Daly in CS1 Miami in 2003, a determined and weary character who had been through a lot. His performance transferred the character's familiar ferocity and power from the big screen to television, impressing viewers with its intensity. But behind the camera, Madsen's life was anything but glamorous. It was a long series of darkness and wounds that never fully healed. Michael Soren Madsen was born on September 25, 1957, in Chicago, Illinois, USA. He grew up in a broken home. His parents divorced when he was very young. But it was his alcoholism, an addiction that developed over the course of his life, that gradually became his greatest nightmare. Alcohol not only destroyed his health but also brought him into constant trouble with the law, led to the breakdown of several marriages, and severely damaged his career. His suffering worsened in the following years when Madsen experienced the greatest shock of his life, the suicide of his son Hudson in 2022 as a result of depression. The pain of losing his son plunged Madsen into alcoholism, leading to a series of scandals, from drunk driving to allegations of domestic violence. His career and family gradually crumbled under the weight of these losses. On July 3, 2025, Michael Madsen died at the age of 67 at his home in Malibu, California, from a heart attack. Doctors confirmed heart failure as the cause of death, likely caused by long-term alcoholism. His fortune was estimated at $4 million, which he earned from over 300 film and television roles. His ashes are interred in Mount Sinai Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills. Lisa Sheridan, photographed by Kathleen Newberry. At 28, Lisa Sheridan landed the role of Kathleen Newberry in the series Miami, 2002. This brief role showcased her subtle, brilliant acting talent. It was an important step in her television career, following her impressive performances in the series Freaky Links and Invasion. But behind this promising career lurked a darkness no one could have foreseen, a darkness that would ultimately overshadow her entire life. Lisa Sheridan was born on December 5, 1974, in Macon, Georgia, USA. Her life spiraled out of control as alcohol and prescription drugs took over, transforming her joy of life into an inescapable obsession. Years of alcoholism had severely damaged her both physically and mentally, and benzodiazepines became a dangerous crutch she desperately resorted to. She fell into a deep depression, and her family could only watch helplessly as she succumbed to her inner struggle. Her isolation deepened after her breakup with actor Ron Livingston, to whom she had been engaged from 2000 to 2003. The separation left a great emptiness, and Lisa never regained her emotional equilibrium. The television glamour that once defined her faded to a thin facade, behind which hid a woman increasingly entangled in alcohol, drugs, and mental health crises. Each of her later roles had a melancholic undertone, as if Lisa were breathing feelings into her characters that she couldn't express in real life. Lisa Sheridan died on February 25, 2019, at the age of 44 in her home in New Orleans. The cause of death was a combination of chronic alcoholism and benzodiazepine abuse. There was no indication of suicide. She was buried in Rose Hill Cemetery in her hometown of Macon, Georgia. Her estate is estimated at $1 million. A modest sum considering the lasting impact she made. Rex Linn as Frank Tripp. Rex Linn was 46 years old when he joined the CSI team in Miami in 2002 as Sergeant Frank Tripp. He was a tough but loyal man who brought balance to the investigative team. His role lasted 10 years and shaped his image with the police uniform and his pragmatic manner, as if Linn had been born for the role of Tripp. But behind this solid image lay a life full of hardship and loss. Rex Maynard Linn was born on November 13, 1956, in Spearman, Texas, USA. Before embarking on his film career, he worked as a banker and suffered a devastating blow when the bank he worked for went bankrupt. This event not only robbed him of his stability, but also forced him to start over as an adult. During these years, Linn eked out a living with odd jobs and supporting roles, developing the patience and resilience of someone constantly searching for their place in life. After years of uncertainty, Linn found love later in life, reuniting with country singer Reba McEntire in 2020. They had met in the 1990s but didn't marry until almost 30 years later. Their relationship was admired by many, but reflected a different reality. Linn lived in solitude and silence for years before finding warmth and happiness. The setbacks in his personal life have made him appreciate love even more over the years. Rex Linn is now 69 years old. He still appears regularly on television, from CSGO to Miami to Young Sheldon, and enjoys a quiet life with Reba McEntire. His net worth is estimated at $5 million, the result of a career spanning over 30 years. Emily Proctor as Callie Duquesne. Emily Proctor was 34 years old when she took on the role of Callie Duquesne, an intelligent and courageous ballistics expert in CSI Miami in 2002. For 10 seasons, Callie, with her gentle yet determined smile, became an integral part of Proctor's personality and a series icon. However, the attention she received on screen never reflected the difficulties she faced behind the scenes. Emily Mallory Proctor was born on October 8, 1968, in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. Her personal life was not without hidden wounds, particularly the difficult experience of motherhood. She gave birth to her first daughter at the age of 42. The joy of motherhood was accompanied by immense anxiety and great sacrifices, forcing her to limit her appearances at CS1 Miami. Motherhood later became a major challenge for her, and she often struggled with stress and a persistent sense of helplessness. In the years that followed, Emily suffered an even greater loss when her beloved home in Pacific Palisades was destroyed by the wildfires of 2025. Everything she owned, every corner of her most precious memories, burned to the ground, leaving a painful emptiness for a woman who had sacrificed so much. The strong, confident Emily fans knew from the set was replaced by the real Emily, standing amidst the ashes, forced to rise again from the rubble. Emily Proctor is 57 years old today. She leads a quieter life and focuses on her nonprofit organization, Groundbreakers. At the same time, she is expanding her interior design firm, a passion that ideally complements her acting career. Her net worth is estimated at $14 million, reflecting her long experience in television and her continued commitment to the industry. Jonathan Togo as Ryan Wolf. Jonathan Togo joined the cast of CSI Miami in 2004 as Ryan Wolf, a 27-year-old rookie full of enthusiasm and perfectionism. The character quickly became the new star of the series, bringing Togo international fame, but his acting talent only reflected one part of his life. Behind the camera lens lay emotional wounds that were difficult to heal. Jonathan Frederick Togo was born on August 25, 1977, in Rockland, Massachusetts, USA. Initially, his life seemed peaceful, but a failed marriage changed everything. His relationship with actress Diora Baird, which should have resulted in a happy family, ended in acrimony after only 3 years. The divorce left deep scars that Togo carried with him into his complicated personal life, where love and responsibility were never in balance. He later found happiness with writer Tiffany Baker, but the first years of their marriage were difficult. His career was no longer as successful as it had been during his time at CSI Miami, and family life demanded constant sacrifices. The pain of his past haunts him, and although he has been purified by the experience, leaves cracks in his soul. Jonathan Togo is now 48 years old. He leads a secluded life, focusing mainly on smaller projects and spending time with his family. His net worth is estimated at $6 million, mainly from his work at CS1 in Miami and other television stations. Adam Rodriguez Jongvai Eric Delco. At the age of 27, Adam Rodriguez joined the cast of CSY Miami in 2002 as Eric Delco, a diver and forensic scientist. His character quickly became a familiar face to viewers and appeared in dramatic episodes for 10 seasons. Behind his confident and strong facade, however, lay a life full of inner wounds. Adam Michael Rodriguez was born on April 2, 1975, in Yonkers, New York, USA. From the moment he entered Hollywood, he faced massive racism throughout his career. Rejection and missed roles due to his Puerto Rican-Cuban heritage repeatedly drove him to despair. Every phase of his career was a struggle to prove that his talent was not limited by skin color or origin. During these difficult years, Rodriguez found strength in taking up a pen and stepping behind the camera. To escape the industry's prejudices, he began writing screenplays and eventually directed several episodes of the series CSY Miami. Years of struggle forged him into a powerful storyteller, willing to fight discrimination and forge his own path. The humiliations he endured became the driving force that enabled him to achieve fame through talent and perseverance. Adam Rodriguez celebrates his 50th birthday today. He continues his acting career and also works as a director and screenwriter, forging his own artistic path. He lives happily with his wife, model Grace Gale, and their 3 children, and after years of battling prejudice, has finally found peace within his family. His net worth is estimated at $10 million, a well-deserved reward for a career that is slowly but surely emerging from the shadows. Johnny Lewis plays Mason. When Johnny Lewis was 20 years old, he played Mason in CS1. In 2004, the young actor arrived in Miami, where his brief stay helped him establish himself in American television. At the time, he was considered a promising talent, and just a few years later, his role as Kip Halfsack in Sons of Anarchy catapulted him to new heights. However, his promising future only briefly overshadowed the slowly unfolding tragedy in his real life. Johnny Lewis was born on October 29, 1983, in Los Angeles, California, USA. In 2011, he suffered a severe brain injury in a serious motorcycle accident. Since then, his life has been marked by mental health problems and increasingly unpredictable behavior. Johnny's parents tried to force him to undergo tests and treatment, but he refused. his stubbornness became an invisible punishment, driving him out of the limelight and plunging him deeper into a darkness from which there seemed to be no escape. His personal tragedy worsened when Johnny became embroiled in a long and bitter custody battle with actress Diane Gata over their daughter, Kula May. He lost the chance to become a father, and this loss only deepened his unresolved emotional wounds. Once a promising talent with a flourishing career, he became a helpless actor, constantly in conflict with the law and plagued by violence, addiction, and extreme isolation. On September 26, 2012, Johnny Lewis died at the age of 28. He fell from a roof, killing his landlady, Catherine Davis, and her cat. Tests revealed no evidence of drug or alcohol use, only traces of brain damage that had impaired his cognitive abilities. His net worth is estimated at $1 million, but that is nothing compared to his as-yet undiscovered talent. David Caruso as Horatio Caine. David Caruso joined the cast of CSI Miami in 2002 as Horatio Caine, the unwavering head of the investigative team. His icy stare and signature sunglasses had already become iconic by the time he was 46. For over 10 seasons, he was a fixture of the show, embodying honesty paired with a touch of mystery for the viewers. But away from the film set, Caruso's life was far removed from the glamorous, immortal image he embodied. David Stephen Caruso was born on January 7, 1956, in Queens, New York, USA. Behind the Hollywood glamour lay personal failures. All 3 marriages ended in conflict and left deep wounds that never healed. One ex-girlfriend even sued him for fraud and emotional distress, casting his reputation in a scandalous light. His personal suffering seemed inextricably linked to his career, making him both famous and tainted by an indelible stain. Later in his career, Caruso was accused of sexual harassment on set, which further damaged his image. The once celebrated actor subsequently withdrew from public life and gradually avoided the spotlight. In 2012, after the end of CSI Miami, he surprisingly announced his retirement, leaving behind a substantial but also controversial body of work. The memory of a talented actor whose life was always overshadowed by hardship lives on. David Caruso, 69, now leads a relatively secluded life far from Hollywood, dedicating himself to his artistic endeavors, pursuing his own projects, and running a fashion boutique in Miami. His net worth is estimated at $25 million, mainly thanks to his lavish salary of over $375 per episode of CSI Miami.